Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Zeta here. Wow and wow, today there's a massive Kundalini rising today. Has anybody else felt it? I've gone into a huge, massive download, like game-changing download this morning. It's heart-centered as well. It's highly intuitive, beautiful, beautiful numbers for today. And so here, and in a matter of hours, I have a wee announcement about something I'm going to bring to the channel as a regular feature. And what's happened for me this morning, guys, is I had a massive astrological awakening. It's like the charts I've been looking at for the last while suddenly got translated. Like I was able to read them in a new way this morning, and it's like I can bring this to my family. And so I'm going to play with it. I've only been studying astrology for, I don't know, 8 years, something like that. It takes decades to really, truly understand astrology. It is wonderfully complex. And so as a novice, as a page, I'm going to bring you what's looking like a weekly astrological data capture, which becomes really interesting because the last reading I did for the first week of July, where all that came through was healing and the first card was Chiron, it's in the charts. Why am I surprised? I'll always be surprised because I'm a child at heart. And so here we go. I'm going to start retrospectively with the 5th, 2 days ago. And we had Mercury in Cancer and Mars in Taurus at a 0-degree sextile. Okay, don't worry about that. So the 5th of July actually was bringing a positive, harmonious aspect, lightning quick thinking, taking fast action, and bringing in a practical energy. And as great as that is, a practical energy can trigger the parts of us that might want to remain in stasis, the recalcitrant parts of us that are a bit concretized. Okay. 6th of July, yesterday, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, the overall energy Tuesday, Wednesday was just like this deep, bone deep fatigue. I've seen it in my whole collective. I haven't come across one person this week. My week isn't over from a work point of view. I haven't come across one person that's been like bubbly and full of vitality. There's been this bone deep fatigue going through, kind of extending from I'm just dog tired and I've got no energy and yada yada, into a beautiful breakdown, into breakthrough. So if we go to the 6th, which was yesterday, we have Venus sextile Chiron. Okay, so Venus is in Gemini, Chiron still in Aries, first house of self, Chiron as the wounded healer. And debilitation of the ability to be proactive in your own life. And here's the trigger. So this is the abreaction to Monday, and you might have felt a push on Monday to get practical with your dreamscaping. So we've been dreaming new life into being for the last couple of years, and lockdown and introspection, all that beautiful hermit work. And now we have a building fire. And we're being called to kind of get proactive and really engage that masculine. So it might trigger feelings of unsuccessful. It might trigger old feel. It's all past stuff where I haven't been able to manifest and I feel wounded and it hasn't worked out for me and I'm stopped at every, it's all of that debilitation that takes our energy. So lacking the healthy aggression needed to live in a competitive society, and competition can be soul absent or soul full. They can. So the question is how to add a touch of ruthless to an over-loving heart. Okay, so when we talk about an over-loving heart, we might be speaking into where we overgive. And what was that card? Surrender the habit of people-pleasing. Okay. So some lovely transitions happening yesterday, some big questions coming in about how do I can see it. I can see it. Is it real? And how do I? And I'm tired. Okay. Then we jump to the 8. No big movement today, but look at the downloads. I'd love to know if you're in massive download today. I've really found my place in something. I'm working on a massive project with somebody, and as soon as I stepped into it, I hit this block. And it's because actually I needed to go off in that direction and follow where I was being pulled. And so I've found my place in this system, which isn't subject to my intellectual mind. And I'll speak into the intellect because there's something massive happening in the intellect. Right. So tomorrow we have Sun Square Chiron. The sun is shining a light to challenge a highly developed intuitive philosophy. It's happening in the 9th house. It's challenging us to apply our evolved belief systems, everything that we've been building, all the belief stuff in the world, practical, application, manifestation. What does it look like when what's going on inside you comes out of your mouth? Remember, the throat chakra is the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. It's where that impulse becomes sound vibration, becomes manifest in the world, so this is going to challenge us to apply that belief system in the world, knowing better than most. Okay. If you're spiritually developed, you may well know better than most because you've tapped your knowingness. That's all well and good. But without practical approach, it can turn into idealism, excuses, and arrogance. Yeah, okay. So I'm just being shown images of priests. This is the hidden occult. And remember, South Node is still in Scorpio. South Node is being heavily aspected at the moment. So it's digging up that deep old wound of where, wow, that's fascinating. One of the conversations I had this week was literally about the guru. And nobody is better than or worse than. Okay, everybody is on their path and everybody is uniquely on their path. No comparison, no better than, worse than. There's no hierarchy. It's the experience. Where are you in your experience? Okay, so yeah, watch out for idealism, excuses, and arrogance, because the push here is move on it. That's the push this week. And that is going to trigger this deep fatigue in us that's been lying dormant. All this energy we've been holding that's been lying dormant. Oh, it's going to rise today. It's amazing. Yesterday I was just horizontal for most of the day, and today I'm like gazing. So that's the 8th tomorrow. It's Friday. Then Saturday we have Mercury square Jupiter. Abreaction is the first word I've written for this. So this might be the extremist overreaction to the realization of the creation lag in your life, not being able to manifest or create. This is too much old wounding in the way, and society and COVID, yada, yada. Look out also for perhaps an overcompensation of unnecessary thinking. So Jupiter will expand Mercury. Mercury is the lower chatty mind. Okay. And if we look at where they are, Mercury is in Cancer. So Cancer is the house of, it's 4th house. It's the house of home, family, hearth, roots. What was your first emotional experience? So here we go back to the same question. What's your deepest emotional need? And how do you get that fulfilled? How do you fulfill that in yourself? Jupiter is in Aries, house of self. How do I? There's the question for tomorrow, for Saturday. How do I? Okay, I'm going to read that bit again. So look out for an abreaction, overreaction to the realization of the creation lag in your life, and perhaps an overcompensation of unnecessary thinking. This is where the intellect might come in with all the whys. It happened because, who gives a shit? Be in the moment, be in the moment. So focus on synthesizing all of these many material thoughts expanded by Jupiter to create a more balanced and holistic approach. I'll share a secret with you in a minute. To create a more balanced and holistic approach to the potential muchness of this square. So do you remember last week I said to you, my downloads are coming in so fast, I need to find a new way of managing information. I found it. It's for create the structure. So what I do now as a practice is, so I use notes on my MacBook and I type up the notes and then I convert it to a PDF and I print it off. It's there. It's in the physical. It's in the form. I've created the space for it. And what it does is it helps me to edit and make concise that which is Mercury meeting Jupiter, because it's so expansive what comes in. I go off in all sorts of directions and I lack focus because I'm Ophiuchus, so I'm basically vapor. But pulling structure, pulling all of my downloads into a structure is really helping me. So I share that with you in case it helps you. All right. So we have also on the 9th, Saturday, Mercury conjunct Lilith. Mercury conjunct Lilith. So with Mercury in Cancer, 4th house, it's literally the home. Home, family roots, first emotional experience. Lilith will challenge what protects and nourishes us. Job security, home, relationships. Now we're in the dissolution and we're in the hyperinflation. So in very real time, that can be circumstances becoming very difficult. A threat to security or perceived security. Yeah, okay. And then on the 10th, Sunday, we have Sun sextile Uranus. So sextile is, imagine a 6-pointed star, and it's a happy little conjunction. It's expansive and balanced, harmonious. So harmonious and creative, new ideas coming in on Sunday. And again, activated by that 9th house of collective thought and the higher mind. So you might go through a bit of a rumble until the end of the week, and then there'll be this elevation. Energy is progressive, intuitive, and original now. Original. Original's great. You remember I was talking about the balloon and untethering the tethers? The sacrifice, what are we going to let go of in order to rise into the higher mind? Well, originality, I might go so far as to say, is a dangerous thing in mundane society. How do you bring your originality? If you wake up with a highly Uranus, crazy, ingenious idea, do you bring it, or do you just turn the light down a little bit so you still get met in the world? So, because there's a dare here. Uranus is doing some big work during July. I've studied I've been studying the history of what happens when Uranus conjuncts the North Node, and it's foobar. So the energy is progressive, building the new, intuitive, tuning in rather than out, and original. That's your magic. And this is the beginning. So what I've seen most of all this last 10 days is the beginning of the dissolution of the overactive intellect. So all of this, that's the notes. That's as brief as it's going to get, because again, I don't want to give you all the answers. I just want to touch little energy points in you that make you go, oh, I'm going to disappear for 4 hours and tune in. So at 5:30, I did some crazy scrawling this morning. This may not make sense. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to bring my wild and crazy. So the intellect came in looking like a bouncer. So the intellect is the henchman for the ego. So the ego says, no, you can't. And the intellect tells you why you can't, and justifies and defends why you cannot come into this nightclub. Ego maintains the status quo, and the intellect explains why and defends and justifies. So what I'm finding at the moment is people are bridging the world of complete flow state and free association. So I've been using those words an awful lot in my therapeutic work. Can you just put the mind to one side, free associate? The wilder and crazier, the better. Say anything, whatever words come up, just allow that volcanic eruption. And then the mind is so strong. It is such a henchman, the intellect. So let's say I'm working with me as a client, and I say, and I get a weird word, let's say Zolif. That's just come to me. I don't even know what that is. Zolif. What's happening is the intellect comes, well, I don't know what that means. Maybe I should, and the intellect wants to come in, engage the left lobe, and move to reason and logic. Well, it's not here yet. Just be with Zolif, because Zolif has an energetic signature. So be with, just allow that to flow through and free associate. We cannot build the new by subconsciously mapping to the old. Squirrel. Okay. Yes, exactly. The example is, as a whole, look for moments where your intellect prevents an organic pause into the unknown, or into the realization of, I don't know. And again, it's part of the training to be in the I don't know, because the intellect wants to come in and get clever. Project manage, sort it out. There's no sorting, it's just being. The intellect is the academic, full of dry empiric reason, and I need to look that word up. I got the word obligation, but I don't know what it means. I'll leave it in. The intellect is clever and can tell you 100 ways the reason why and the parameters of, and ultimately can anticipate a logical conclusion. Now, logical conclusion is linked to expectation. So it's the expectation of an outcome. And what if there isn't an outcome yet? Taken to the extreme, the intellect can become hypervigilant, calculating the odds all the time. Mercury with Jupiter, us calculating all the time, expanding. Using reason over instinct to create a false sense of self, justified safety. A false sense of self-justified safety. So what the intellect does is, brick by brick, it builds a wall of cleverness, so that the other cannot reach through into the vulnerability. It's a protection mechanism. This intellectual hypervigilance, I phrased this as a question. Can this intellectual hypervigilance also be associated with one of the main symptoms of PTSD? Overthinking. So there's to manage out any vulnerability of not knowing, not having an answer. Okay. The intellect thinks, the instinct senses, and the heart knows. I'm going to have to pause the video because there's something I need to find. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, it's lost it again. Bear with me. Sorry. Bear with me. I'm back. Okay. Where were we? Yeah, and that brought me to the injured instinct and a beautiful quote from Clarissa Pinkola Estes, which is written in terms of a woman, but it speaks to all human beings. When a woman's instinctual nature is strong, she intuitively recognizes the innate predator by scent, sight, and hearing, anticipates its presence, hears it approaching, and takes steps to turn it away. In the instinct-injured woman, the predator is upon her before she registers its presence, for her listening, her knowing, and her apprehension are impaired, mainly by introjects which push her to be nice, to behave, and especially to be blind to being misused. Okay. So that speaks volumes about all of the work that we've been doing in the sacral to rebirth the instinct. And today we're in Kundalini rising. So this is animal. It's the animal instinct that knows, that just follows without question. Okay, so again, I'm just going to plot that on your radar without solutions or answers, but you know where I am if you need to book a session. So together, the intellect and the ego make love conditional. The intellect and the ego make love conditional. Love is love. So this week is a week of healing, deep, deep healing. And it's challenging our intellectual response to a gut instinct and to intuition and to what our heart wants, the Holy Trinity, you know, living life through the heart in accordance with the soul is going to challenge everything. It's going to challenge everything. And July is going to ramp. It's huge. It's huge, July. I cannot stress that enough. So let's have, let's just let some cards fall out for this week, ending on Sunday. And then after this, I'm going to record next week's. And we'll just see how they land. And I'll get better at it. I'll get better at it. I'm fascinated. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. Just the numbers, look. 45, 54. It's the dissolving. 9 wants to dissolve back into the void, to be rebirthed in the one, active intelligence. So the 9's done it all, knows it all, has experienced it all in one cycle. It's a number of completion. It's a number of wisdom. But the recalcitrant 9 might not let go. The recalcitrant 9 might be arrogant about all they know because it gives them a certain social status. This is guru. A humble 9 knows that it's all integrated. All of that learning from the past cycle is integrated now. It's in us. It's innate, and can let it go and become the page again, become the student again, willing. And it goes back to that question, doesn't it? How teachable are you? Yeah. Seer and Sweat Lodge. Sorry, I didn't show you the cards, I just showed you the numbers, but it's kind of, it's very much the energy. It's a small doorway. That's what we're doing. We're widening that doorway back into our own light so that it can shine out. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, what else do we need to know about this week? I'm just getting inspiration doesn't need justification. Inspiration comes in like that, and the courage is just to take it and run. To take it and run. And I want to speak into that because I just want to give you love, you guys. Some of you guys have commented and showered me in cheerleading energy, and I've found that so useful and so valuable. I really want to say thank you for that, because this is a huge change that I'm going through, and I'm really being vigilant not to hide any of it or pretend, and it's not going to look pretty. Yesterday wasn't a pretty day. I was foul yesterday, foul and exhausted, and my intellect's coming in telling me why stuff is shit. It's like, meh. Slept like the dead. I mean, I slept like the dead for 10 hours, dreamless, black sleep. Woke up and it's like bang, 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 bang. So yesterday was it was a phoenix burning day. I just had to burn, I was burning it down. Yeah, well, okay. Today is an 11. What is today? It is a 20. Speak to the goddess. 2011-2. It's channeling the higher mind. It's the divine gateway. It's that divine gateway. So yeah, that might be a prompt to just sit under a tree somewhere or sit in your sweat lodge somewhere and channel the bejesus out of it. Let's have a look at you. I can see you. Disparate. So what I'm getting is some of the messages I'm going to start bringing you are going to be disparate. They might not make sense, but I'm just going to live with that and leave it, because it might to you. We're not all looking at the same jigsaw puzzle, but the pieces remain the same. I'll be contemplating an awful lot. 8, 6, 14, 5. Okay, give me more on that. Let's go to another deck. So the card that's come out. So Sun Spirit, well, are we? Okay, so what I can see is, right, so my intellect said 1 is first house, Aries. And my intuition said, what did my intuition say? It's gone. It's giving me Leo. And I don't think it was on this channel. I think it was on the other channel. I made a video a couple of months back and Lionsgate came in. Way out of time. Okay, yeah. I'm going to park those cards because they're speaking into the end of this month, right? So we've got a ramping month of change with astrology at the end that is so rare. The last time it happened to the exact degree was 324 BC, Alexander the Great. Okay, so we're looking at a remapping of the world. Nothing will be the same. But I haven't found a way. I've written all the notes for it, but I don't want to send the collective off into a wild panic. So I'm going to give it flesh and sense. Yeah, change, colossal change. Colossal change. Uranus on that north node in Taurus, the built world, the made world. It's huge. We're putting those there. And let's go to some oracle messages. What's going to be useful? Useful. We want it, there's going to be sacrifices. It always seems to be depicted in some Pegasus unicorn way. Doesn't look like that. Let's get real. This is the challenge of this week. Well, next week, this challenge is going to intensify because a lot of Neptune coming in next week, and that's really going to shake us into wake the fuck up. It's that kind of energy. Okay, so transcending, accessing the higher mind is not to be taken lightly. It's a process that needs sacred respect, and it needs a kind of maturity that will allow us to let go of what we know. This is the 9 energy, let go of what we know, the structures that we've built, to give us some sense of security in the world. Transcending can trigger the disappointment that that was a lie. So it could be quite brutal. We've got that coming in with expansion. You know, and Jupiter. Jupiter and Mercury, okay, is literally, Jupiter and Mercury is literally the expansion of the lower mind upwards. Pegasus, wings. Here we go. This is what it will call into question. This is his Taurus look. Stability, protection, safety, the 4 walls, the home, material possessions. Because also what might happen in the transcending is I've found a natural curve that I haven't pushed at, it's just happened, is a letting go of a certain kind of materialism. Because it doesn't matter. Literally, to noticing that some of my clothes have holes in them. I haven't bought any new clothes for ages. And I don't care. Because this is way bigger than a t-shirt. It's way bigger. So transcending, you know, part of the letting go is, you know, the shoes, the handbags. Boys, I'm talking to you as well. Or, you know, whatever that gives stability and protection. It's got to be in here because nothing can take it away. It's here. If it's in here, nothing can touch it. Fabulous. Let's wrap this up. Should we go there? I haven't used these cards for ages. Hello, beasties. Here's the beastie deck. See what the beasties have to say. I've lost a card. It's there. Okay, yeah, okay. Divine detours. Okay. A shifting of allegiance. That's from the intellect to the intuition. Subconscious can't come in and pollute the intuition. It's just coming in. That's pure active intelligence. No questions. Act without thinking. Have fun with it. Play like a child. With the that as well as the this. This and that are true. Today is shit. I'm going to make a shit cake using shit ingredients to fully express my shit. This and that are true. I don't know what this means. This is all very NLP. Let's act as if. Okay. Okay, I get it. So this is like, if you're shown something, if your intuition shows you something, know it to be true. That's what that's saying. Act as if, move into it and allow it to move you. This is allowing the divine to move you. $14.5, is that Kundalini today? 7/7, 14/5. Kundalini, act as if. So act on the fire. Courage, courage, courage. Defiance, defiance, defiance. Courage, defiance, and playfulness. Did I just describe child energy? 17/8. Co-create with spirit. It's the magic. It's the magic. Okay, that's beautiful. So I'm going to wrap this up with an abundance card, and then I'll start on tomorrow's and see what comes through, next week's, and see what comes through. Yeah, do feel free to leave me a comment. I'm curious how this comes over. Whoa, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, first one out. No excuses, no condition. There's no condition to self-love. We have everything in us to love ourselves on every level, to brother ourselves, sister ourselves, father ourselves, mother ourselves. We have everything within. Let the wall fall, intellect, that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. Intellect. I long to take care of myself like never before. So this is really that powerful Kundalini birth of resourcefulness. Resourcing. Oh, I love that. Resourcing. Back to source. Massive awakening. July, don't even need to spell that out. A deepening into divine flow. Intuition, I want to speak into this. One of the other conversations I had this week was about gratitude. Was it about gratitude? It was about gratitude. And how the mind goes to the physical to give thanks for the physical and misses the beautiful little things like one of the things I give thanks for the most, there seems to be a cycle, a repeating cycle of when I've finished doing my gardening, an hour later, the heavens open. And I give gratitude for that because it's beautiful. I don't have to go out later on and water the garden. It's all done. It's perfect and divine. And it's those little tiny things that build intention, that build a curve of seeing it, noticing it. And what that will do is that will redirect where the mind goes when I start talking about abundance, because abundance is there. We've made it something poisonous and materialistic, and it isn't. Abundance is, who loves you, baby? How do they love you? How do you love yourself? That's it. I'm going. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you have too. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe. Welcome new subscribers. I see you. It's great to have you here. And take care. And I will be back soon. Ta-ta. Bye.